I always tell my clients to prepare them when it comes to home warranties. You should never, ever view your home warranty as the superhero that's just going to swoop in and save the day. Don't ever view your home warranty like that. You should instead view your home warranty as more of a band-aid to help keep you trucking along just long enough for you to be able to swoop in and save yourself, right? That's the way that you should view a home warranty. Welcome to the Home Goals Podcast, the ultimate guide for turning your home goals into a reality. I'm your host, Derek Thornton. Join us as we navigate the twists and turns of obtaining a home. We'll be offering expert tips, helping you avoid pitfalls, and championing your journey towards that cherished place to call home. And this week, we're going to be talking about one of the topics that is often associated with anything that you purchase of value in today's society, and that is warranties. More specifically, home warranties. We always hear the jokes about your car's extended warranty and how they will search for you to the ends of the earth to make sure that you sign up for it, or if you looked into it, right? You go to the store and you buy anything from a laptop all the way down to just a simple USB drive, and they ask if you want a warranty to go along with that product. Like, it's something that we're constantly inundated with, and we're constantly being offered these warranties. And so we want to take a time to really make sure that you understand not only what home warranties are, but help you answer the question, are they worth it? That's what it all comes down to. That's what everyone's wondering is it really worth it for me to get this home warranty? Right. So before we jump into that, I first want to explain just kind of what the home warranties are, and more importantly, what they are not. I always tell my clients to prepare them when it comes to home warranties. You should never, ever view your home warranty as the superhero that's just going to swoop in and save the day. Don't ever view your home warranty like that. You should instead view your home warranty as more of a band-aid to help keep you trucking along just long enough for you to be able to swoop in and save yourself. Right? That's the way that you should view a home warranty. These are things or products that are put in place to help make repairs, and in some dire circumstances, they may even replace appliances or things that are going wrong in the house, if that comes to it, or if there's a situation where that needs to be the case. If a home warranty company just went in and replaced whatever claim came across their desk, right? Like, let's say there was a claim for a broken HVAC or a broken water heater or something like that. They just signed off on all those different claims and said, hey, yep, don't worry about it. We'll replace it. No questions asked. If they did that, they would be out of business tomorrow, right? They have to be mindful, and they have to be prepared in making wise decisions and making sure that if there is a way to keep that appliance going just a little bit longer, that they do that, right? That's the best way that they can do it, right? And so I don't ever want people to think that just because it's a possibility that item could be replaced and you could get a brand new item, that should be the expectation, right? That's always going to be the exception to the norm. That should never be your mindset as what is going to happen when you first put in that call or first put in that claim. But the way that it works, most home warranties anyway, they usually will have a list of items that are covered by that warranty. And they'll usually give you a full detailed rundown, right? They'll say, hey, the dishwasher, the refrigerator, the washer dryer unit, all these different things. They'll go through and list every single thing that is covered with that home warranty, regardless of what the condition is, how all those items are. That's one of the unique things about a home warranty. Usually when you're offered a warranty, it's for something that you're buying new. With a house, though, or with a home warranty, a lot of times when you're buying a house, especially a resale home, a lot of those appliances may be different ages, right? You might have a refrigerator that's 15 years old, oven that's 10 years old, a water heater that's a year old, right? You could have all these different ages on all these different things. And most home warranties aren't going to come in and say, hey, you need to first send us a detailed list of the age and model and appliance number of all these different appliances in your house. They're not going to do that. They're just often going to put a blanket protection coverage on your home so that it covers all the things that they've listed out in the plan that they've given you. So that's one of the benefits to it, is that even if you have a 15-year-old refrigerator that's on its last leg, hey, I can still get warranty coverage on this to make sure that I can help keep it working, right? And so the home warranty gives you blanket coverage on all the things that they've listed out. And if there's a problem with any of those items, right, let's say that the refrigerator stops working one day, right, you can call in that warranty, and they will usually have something called a trade call fee, right? And so that's basically a fee that you pay up front for it. It's more almost like a deductible in terms of when you're thinking of insurance, right? And so you pay that fee up front. A lot of times it might be $100, maybe $120 or something like that, but it's usually a nominal fee like that. That's a fee that you would pay to have someone in that trade or that contractor or technician come out to address the issue. Once you pay those funds, that person then comes out and addresses and assesses whatever the issue is. If there's a problem that they can fix or that they can use to repair, keep it working, the warranty will cover the cost of that repair or that issue, right? And so if there's a part that you need, if you pay that trade call fee, the person comes in, they addresses what it is, they say, hey, they need this item to be fixed, or whatever, they need this item to get this appliance working. They come in, make the repair, and you don't owe anything else past that initial trade call fee. And in some cases, if it's really bad, like if the item just broke down altogether, in some instances, I'm going to say that again, not all, but in some cases, if it's a really bad situation where there's just no way to bring this back, and in other situations, you may be able to get that entire appliance replaced altogether, right? So you might be able to get an entirely new refrigerator right out of the gate if it's covered under that warranty, and if there's nothing that they can do to kind of help bring it back. But again, like I said, I would never walk in with that expectation. They're more times than not going to find a way to keep that thing moving just a little bit longer, right? If it's something where it's like hey, this is an ongoing problem, more times than not, they're usually just going to have you come in and make that repair or make that fix just to keep it trucking just a little bit longer. And that's the way it's covered under the warranty. And so that's the way that it typically works. And again, that's the way why I always tell people you should view it as that Band-Aid that's just going to kind of patch things together and keep it trucking a little bit longer. Now, there's often confusion as to what is covered in a home warranty versus home insurance, right? And so home insurance has more to do with damage that is done to the home, whereas home warranties usually cover more appliance issues and different things like that, right? And so one example that I often use to kind of help people understand the difference between the two, if let's say your water heater exploded and it caused a huge leak in your attic, and that leak caused damage to the sheetrock, and it kind of came down and did all this other damage underneath there as well. If you were going to file a claim for that, a home warranty would address the broken water heater, whereas home insurance would address the damage caused by that broken water heater, right? And so the sheetrock that came down, all that stuff. And so it's important that you understand that those two are working in conjunction with one another. You wouldn't just walk in and say like, hey, home insurance company, my water heater exploded. I expect for you guys to replace my water heater as well. They're not likely going to do that. They're going to address the damage that was caused as a result of that. And so these are all important things that you need to keep in mind in understanding how protected you are in every step of the process. It's also a part of the reason, too, why I tell people that your ultimate goal should be for you to become your own home warranty. Right. So home insurance, the lender, if you have a mortgage lender, they're going to require you to get that. Home warranties are completely optional. And the goal should be for you to eventually get your emergency fund and your savings up to the point to where you become your own home warranty company. Right. And so if that refrigerator or that water heater or that HVAC breaks down, instead of you having to go through them and pay the trade call fee and get someone to come in and hope and pray that they can address it in a way that fixes it long term, you can just hire whoever you want to come through, fix that item, and it's good to go. Because another thing you have to keep in mind about home warranties is they have a set list of vendors. Most home warranty companies, there's a few that are a little bit different, but most home warranty companies have a set list of vendors that are available on hand that they have to use to address whatever issues are on hand. Right. And so if you call and say, hey, my dishwasher broke, they have a specific list of vendors that they're only allowed to use to send out to repair that item or repair that dishwasher. As with anything, right, you get what you pay for. Most of the time, and again, I don't want to put blanket statements on everything, but I'm going to say most of the time, if it's someone who is like the top of the line in their field, they're not going to want to work with a company that's going to take a portion of their sales, right? Because you figure the home warranty company is basically handing these leads over on a platter saying, hey, here's some business for you, right? They're not going to do that without taking a little bit of a cut for themselves, right? And so the people who are the top of the line, the best of the best in any given field, right? The best absolute contractors, they're not likely to be on these vendor lists because they can just go off their own reputation and get the business themselves. They're not going to want to share a part of that profit with the home warranty companies. And so you're not often going to get the creme de la creme, right? The best of the best with these contractors. And so that's one thing that you have to keep in mind. The other thing you have to remember too is that they're trying to handle all the requests for not only for you, but also for all the other people that have signed up for that warranty as well. And so you're also working with a finite amount of vendors and contractors and resources available to service all the different people that may be calling at any given time, right? And so there also might be a delay in getting them to the right. There's more red tape that they have to go through, right? It's if they come out and they find out there's an issue, they have to first get that whole problem approved by the warranty company and then come back out, address the issue and all that stuff. And that can take time, right? Depending on how good the warranty company is and how good their contractors are, it could take a lot more time than you would like than if you were to able to just go out and use your own money to pay for whoever you wanted to have come fix that item, right? And so it's always important for you to understand that the goal should never be to have that home warranty as the option for you every single time, right? Again, you want to be able to say that, hey, I can tuck the money that I would have spent on a home warranty and I can just tuck that away in my emergency fund so that I have that set aside so that I can hire whoever I want, whenever I want. I can get all these different quotes, right? I can make sure that the work is done as fast as possible and on my timeline. And that's something that you can usually only guarantee when it's you who are footing the bill versus putting it onto the home warranty company. And so that's part of the reason why I always explain that too. I have personally used home warranties a lot myself. I still have a home warranty on my own personal home. And like I said, eventually, I would love to get to the point too where I can just cast that off to the side and just have my home warranty fully funded in my emergency fund so that I'm able to do it. But I still use home warranties myself all the time, and I definitely don't advise against them, especially when you're first purchasing a home, because obviously it's one of the biggest expenses that you're going to deal with. And so you want to have some type of safety net in place while you replenish your emergency fund, while you replenish your savings. You want to have something on there to kind of help make sure that you're not stuck in a rut or whatever if you have a major appliance breakdown on you. So I've had my HVAC is original to the age of my home. My HVAC is definitely way overdue, but like I said, it's still working. So I was like, hey, I'll just let it be, but I have a home warranty on it just in case. There was a time a couple years ago where the HVAC stopped cooling, and of course that stuff only ever happens on like holiday weekends, on a hot summer day. It's always on like the hottest summer day. It's like 100 degrees outside. But it was like 4th of July weekend, of course, when it broke down. And so I called the home warranty company and they were able to send out a technician. They weren't able to come out until like, I think it was a day or two after it had initially broken down. But they basically come to the conclusion that, hey, there's a broken compressor and we need to get that replaced, right? And so they were able to put in that request. It got approved. They came and replaced the compressor. All worked out great. It was amazing. However, and this is another thing you need to keep in mind too, the timeline for that is kind of all over the place, right? And that is not something that you want to really play around with when you're in the heat of summer, right? And so while it was great that it was covered, it still sucked that we had to wait kind of on an indefinite timeline to figure out when this is going to happen, right? So the contractor came out, said, hey, here's the issue, here's what we need to do, and then said, hey, I have to go back and enter this in with the warranty company, and then I have to wait for it to get approved, then I can order the part, then I have to schedule another time to get out here, right? And they were like, that could take a few days, it could take 6 or 7 days, we're not really sure right now. And I'm like, I got a family full, like I got kids in the house, right? It's 100 degrees outside. I can't really go off of your just, it could take a few days, whatever. Like it's like, do we stay in a hotel? Do we go stay with family? Things are just kind of up in the air, right? And so once they did come out and fix it, like I said, all was good, but you're just working on that timeline, hoping that they can get it done as quickly as possible and trying to figure out what to have. There are some horror stories of people who are working with warranty companies on similar issues, and they were without AC for 2-3 weeks, right? And you're just having to find a hotel or family or someone to stay with in the meantime. But that's obviously not the most ideal way to do things. And home warranty is just going to cover that repair. Home warranties don't address your hotel stay. They don't address any of the things that you're doing in the meantime while you're waiting on that item to be fixed. And so that's one thing that you importantly want to keep in mind. And again, I keep going back to that same point. That's also the reason why you want to make sure that you're your own home warranty, right? Because if you were working with your own home warranty company, you could call someone who has those parts readily available, who has all the stuff ready to go, and they could fix that repair in the blink of an eye, and you're not having to wait around for all these different approvals and parts to be ordered and all that stuff. You don't want to have to go through that in the heat of the summer, right? And so it's not always a perfect process, but at the end, it did exactly what it was supposed to do. It paid for that part, right? And so I don't want you to think that there's no value to the home warranty. I had another item where there was a eye on our stove that wasn't heating correctly. And so we were able to call the home warranty company. They had an appliance person come in, made the repair. Well, they had to, of course, go through the whole process again where they had to call in, order the part, get it approved, come back and install it. But with that, it wasn't a huge deal. Now, obviously, it was annoying not being able to use all the eyes on the stove as well, but the important thing was that it wasn't a situation where it was like, I can't live in this house unless that eye on that stove is working, right? And so in that situation, it was a perfect opportunity, right? And they got me up and running and we were good to go. There was another situation where it didn't work out so well for me, where I had a garage door that stopped working, and we called the home warranty, said that the garage door was covered, whatever, but for whatever reason, there was a technicality in there where it wasn't covered under the particular warranty that we had, and so we just had to foot the whole bill. And in that case, it was even worse that we even called the home warranty in the first place, because in addition to paying for the entire garage door repair, we still had to pay that trade call fee of $100 to have the person come out, right? And so that's one time where it can really kind of bite you in the butt. But more times than not, it's usually going to be beneficial to have that warranty on hand. One of the benefits to purchasing a home warranty when it comes to buying a house is that a lot of times they will allow you to waive the waiting period that's typically in place for someone who's ordering a warranty, right? And so when you order a home warranty on your home, a lot of times they will have rules in place that you will have to wait anywhere from 30 to 60 days before you can file a claim, right? And that's to avoid people kind of gaming the system and calling at the last second for a repair or trying to sign up for it when they need it. And so there will typically be some type of waiting period that's in place for most home warranties, except when you're purchasing a home. If you're purchasing a home, a lot of times they will have something in place where that coverage goes into place immediately after you close. And that's one benefit to getting it at that point, is that you don't have to worry about that waiting period. You're protected right out of the gate. And so sometimes sellers will agree to pay for it as kind of an added bonus. Maybe they might use it in repair negotiations as a bargaining chip. Say, hey, instead of us handling all these little nitpicky repairs, what do you say we just give you a home warranty that covers you for a year? After that, you would have to pay to renew it, but this at least covers you for that first year so that you have some added protection in place when you're moving into the home for that initial year. There are other situations where the buyer may say, hey, the seller's not going to pay for this, but I'd still like to have it, and you have every right to purchase it then and just put it on your closing statement. Again, you'll still be covered when you close on that home. As long as it's purchased at the time that the house closes, you get that immediate coverage as the buyer. And so it's a great tool to use, but again, just don't give unrealistic expectations for what it can do. It's only going to provide so much protection for you, and your end goal should always be to be able to provide that protection for yourself and not dependent on someone or some other company or entity to be able to protect you in the event of an emergency that happens. And so I always like to make sure that people have a firm grasp of how home warranties can work and what to expect from them. But I hope that you find this helpful. I'm always here to talk. There's a ton of home warranty companies out there. All of them offer different things. Some of them you can pay on an annual basis. Some of you can pay on a month-to-month basis. It just depends, right? But there's a ton of different options out there. Some have good reputations. Some have not so good. We're always happy to talk through those options with you and help you get a better understanding. But it's a very key tool that can really make a difference. And I think that it's always helpful for you as a buyer to know that. So hope that you all have a wonderful week, and I'll talk to you next time.